Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, not too bad. How are you?
Good, good. Excited to talk about some comics and some new comic solicitations, guys. We got the Marvel and DC comic solicitations that just dropped in time for this episode for June 2023. So make sure you tune in to the end of the show after we talk about the comics to talk about what we're looking forward to maybe checking out at that time. That's a regular feature here on the channel. When we do once a month, whenever the new solicitations come out, and then we kind of get to look at the new things that are going to come out a couple months from now, new series and such, and talk about things that look interesting to us. So that's always a fun time. As always, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time checking us out, let's continue the conversation. Hit us up in the comments. And this week, we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of March 22nd, 2023. We are a weekly comic book review show. We come here and we talk about what we have read every week and we review them, give you guys a rating, show off some of the art, get into the details of the books. Once again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And spoiler warning, guys, be forewarned, we do talk about what happens in these books in order to give you guys a review of them. And sometimes we spoil big things that happen in the books. So just be forewarned. Some of these books that came out this week, if you haven't read them yet, you're worried about getting spoiled, just read your books and come back. You can always check us back out here on the channel in our playlist. We got, all kinds of episodes of this show here. 69, as you can tell. What a great number.
Really?
And yeah, shout out to Chris again too. The last week was a lot of fun. Me and Chris got together in person, and we got a little tipsy. And those episodes are always really fun to record here. And as I said, last week was fun. It was my birthday week, and it was good to always get together. Me and Chris like to do that every so often. So, all right, guys. Without further ado, though, Chris.
All right, I'll try and keep it classy today. Cheers. All right, let's talk comics.
Let's talk some comics. I gotta say, it's never as bad as I think, though. After we record it, like sometimes when I go to upload them, I'm like, "Oh man, we were a mess on this episode," and I'm like, "It wasn't that bad when I rewatch it." Sometimes it is, though. It's not one of those times. I thought we did pretty good. So a little bit of slurring on the words on my part. Otherwise, those are good episodes, guys. Check that out. All right, Deceased War of the Undead Gods #7 is first up on the docket here today. Chris, what'd you think of this one, man?
That was another killer issue. I didn't get my DC in this week, so I read this one online. And this is I think I've said it before. This is a comic that you need to hold in your hand. There always seems to be so much going on in every page, big swerves. But I think I was a little let down with this Lobo stuff. I thought he'd be more involved in the story.
Same.
And really, it looks like he was just an afterthought because he didn't really do anything, at least so far, to change the course of what's been going on.
Well, he had a cool moment at the end of this. He drove that syringe, that cure into
Oh yeah, the cure into what's his name?
Darkseid. Yeah, that was a big moment. That was a big moment. But otherwise, like, you're right. I think it was way overhyped and then not really touched on for a couple issues. And then when he showed up in this one, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, but he did
Yeah,
a good moment at the end of it, I gotta say. Like, it was important for him to do that. But I'm sure one of these other guys could have pulled that off as well, right?
yeah, with this Alfred as Spectre or whatever. I think that's great. And they say just action and everything, and then you were kind of talked about the ending there. Oof. I think is this 7 of 8 issues here?
Yes.
So yeah, next one's the big one, and they set up the end here pretty big with I guess we got a heel turn or a face turn on one of the big bads.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's now that I see this stuff here where I guess they got to do stuff quick with what's his name with Cyborg taking over Brainiac's spaceship. He seemed to do that pretty easily, but I guess that's just to keep the story going. But I thought it was great when he did it though, and
Yeah.
opening up the cities. It's a lot of stuff happening in here.
Yeah, always. And then all the all the people from Krypton that I guess are live.
Was that Kandahar or what's the name of the city? Kandar.
Kendor, the lost
Kandor.
Kendor, the bottle city of Kendor, which Brainiac
Yeah.
had. That was the cool twist in this one is that was it Alfred, I guess, or who Cyborg saved them? Yeah, Cyborg
Yeah.
saved all these people that Brainiac had contained because that's his whole thing. His whole shtick is that he collects cities and puts them in bottles. And he had, of course, the lost city of Kandor, I guess, in
Yeah.
his big ship. And when he freed all these things, these guys were able to spring to action and help them out.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be more than just this city here. I thought there might be other cities, with kind of superpowered beings coming out, but even this is just fine.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you said it all. I think there big things happen. They take big swings in this. People die, get taken off the battlefield, and we're treated with big moments and exciting stuff. And I think the art's been consistent. It's the same artist throughout the whole series so far, and it's always a fun time. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be sad to see it go if this is actually the final chapter. But I mean, there's not much more I think they could say. I mean, I think this was a series that when it started out, I thought it was much better than it had any right to be, and it's just been hell of a lot of fun. And I think Taylor has since has gone on to do all kinds of different Elseworld type of things as we see now, and still is continuing Dark Knights of Steel, and which is just taking forever to come out, or also would have been done by now. But yeah, no, it's been a great series. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I think I'm looking forward to the last issue next time, next issue, and we'll see if he sticks the landing, so to speak, because and it doesn't fucking like just spin out into something else. I would like to see a resolution here. I think Cyborg has played a huge part in this event too. I think that's really cool that he's been so, because of the fact that he's like a cyborg, he's been able to have such a big part in this story. Started out with him fucking up, and really he is the one that spread this thing at the start of the anti-life thing at the start of this event, as they mentioned in this issue. So I thought it was fitting that he was able to see it through at the end here. And like every big development that they've had throughout, like even from them finding the cure originally in one of the past miniseries, maybe the one before this, was again he played a pivotal role in, right? So I think it's cool just to see him, other characters you don't normally see rise to the occasion in these type of events, really be involved in them. So I thought it was really cool to see Cyborg play such a big part in this event. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So what'd you give this one?
Yeah, I'd give this 4.25. And I know it's the last issue coming out next, but I'd love it to see it. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Omegas or anything like that, but this would be a nice one to have, like a deceased Omega or a Fallout issue, just to see kind of what happened in the universe after everything messed up, because so much went on in this series. Like all the Green Lanterns would die or killed, and But anyways, but for this issue, 4.25, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on the 4.25 out of 5. And yeah, I also agree. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that happen. I mean, again, as much as I want it to end, I do have a lot of fun with these series, and they've had a few of them so far. So if they could tack on something like that maybe even time jumped and showed like an epilogue of sorts of like what happened in the story, yeah, I'd be interested in that. Nothing's been solicited yet, so I guess we'll see, right? But I even if this doesn't continue, I'm here for more Tom Taylor Elseworld type stuff. I think he does a great job with this kind of thing. That's his bread and butter, I think, when it comes to no holds bar, like no stakes involved, kind of like storytelling for these characters, right? So because it really it means a lot when you're able to take some of these I mean, even though it doesn't mean anything, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, since it's like out of continuity, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just fun to pick up an issue and see like big players get taken off the
yeah, but all the big players, let's say, everybody's still in character. You know what I mean? Like Superman is still Superman, Darkseid still. That's not like you're bringing back some Darkseid that's good all of a sudden or something like that.
Yeah, no, he's great at characterization for these guys. So absolutely, yeah, you're right. You make a good point there. So, all right, next up we got Superman #2. Man, this Jamal Campbell, he is fantastic. This guy, this the art is unreal on this book, man. I gotta say, like, first and foremost. But yeah, take it away, Chris. He's great.
Yeah, well, I think this Superman's pulling me in there. I didn't want to. I think I didn't buy issue #3, but I got issue #4 coming, and the story seems decent. Like with the parasites, I don't know what they are there, and they seem to be draining Superman of all his powers, and I don't know, it's that Moon character or something that charges him up near the end. I thought it's a decent story. It's kind of going places, and I like where it's going.
Yeah, man, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. I think this is kind of this is I I I I rate Superman books at a high scale just because I think they're usually such a hard sell for me. But that being said, I think this is how you this is I'm down for the ride right now. I'm enjoying myself. I think it's a simple, straightforward story that continues to develop, raise the stakes, which again is I think a hard thing to do for Superman just because he is such a powerhouse. But like every issue, like by the end of this, we find out these guys have evolved in the sense that they've now instead of just multiplying, they're in the air
Yeah.
and affected by it. Like Superman gets affected by the end of this issue, and they're like airborne, this like an airborne disease, and like it's like some sort of like a zombie type story being told now, almost like it seems like almost like a deceased in a way, like the way
Yeah.
that things are
And I
now.
like how they keep the kind of the super family at bay. So it's not like, you just got 10 Supermen coming in and kicking ass. He's like, you got to stay out of this because they're going to start sucking power out of you too. Just make them more stronger. So, I'm not a big fan of how they have to freeze the city or, kind of explain how they're containing this just in Metropolis. But other than that, I think everything's pretty decent in this series so far.
And again, like Jamal Campbell is
Yeah.
killing it on this series. I mean, the visuals look awesome on this one, and yeah, I think this is a good artist for this title. And I think the other artist that he's supposed to be, I think, trading off art duties on after maybe like the first arc, or I think they're the two main artists on this book, has yet to be seen yet. But I think it's Nick Dragata, who I'm also a huge fan of, who did some preview pages, I think in like one of those annuals or something like that. The action, it's one of these books. Like he had a few pages in it,
Yeah.
and he's the one with more of like the manga influence looking art. And I mean, if that's the guy that they're trading off storylines with, like you got good artists on a Superman book, like that's that's awesome. So yeah, I'm in. I'm for it right now. I'm in. Like I said, easy hard sell for me, but I've enjoyed these first two issues. So yeah, what'd you give this?
Yeah. I'd give this maybe a 4. Thought it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 based on the art. I give it a bump. I think 3.75, but that with the art, I'm gonna give it a bump to 4 as well. And I think I gave the first issue 3.75, but now that we're kind of getting into the
Yeah, you're into it a bit and see what's going on. I think this first arc seems to be pretty decent so far.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm here for it.
yeah, absolutely. All right, next up we got Doctor Strange #1. This nice Alex Ross cover here. So, Chris, I don't think you ended up picking up this book, did you?
No, I didn't pick it up, but I did read it. As a continuation of I guess Strange, which I kind of dug. And I thought this was pretty decent though too. It's good seeing Clea and Strange kind of going through it. And it was like a week in the life of Strange. Meh, that's about it. What do you think of it?
Man, I love this issue. This issue's fantastic. What a fucking return to this series. I mean, Jed MacKay, who wrote the Death of Doctor Strange series, and of course it folded into the Strange series, which had Clea as the Sorcerer Supreme for that 10-issue series, which was good. This had Doctor Strange, Steven now returning, and now he's, I guess, married or with Clea. They're together. He's calling her his wife again. And in this picture, like it kind of gives you a quick overview, like a recap of what happened in the Strange series on that first page. And then, I mean, this is how you do a first issue into a series, especially one that's been continuing through 2 other iterations by the same writer. I think Jed MacKay, this is just like a return to form. This is an excellent issue. This whole Doctor is in moment where he kind of put up the sign again, he's back on Bleecker Street, and then he's got all the people coming, to the Sanctum Sanctorum on every day. Like they show give a page dedicated to him meeting up with like a different superhero in the Marvel universe that's been coming by. And as a result of that, they're able to really tie in together like current events that have been happening to these characters and other things that Jed MacKay has even worked on. Black Cat shows up and it references things that have been going on in Black Cat, and the whole Doctor Doom moment that happened in Strange. Like he showed up. And
Yeah, that was good with Doctor Doom showing up there,
he was about to
or him going there. I think he went to what's that? to Doom's Castle or something.
Yeah, like he went to Latveria and like warned him, like, you know, you fucked around. I think you messed up, you messed around with my wife, not messing around with my wife, but he's like, you know, you talked, you came through and you tried to take over for my wife as Sorcerer Supreme. Like, you better
Yeah.
watch what you say to her now. From now on, I'm back. Like, I'm back in town. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, so yeah, that was awesome, man. Like, I just like the approach that he took and kind of summing everything up, and then also at the same time moving forward with the plot. And by the end of this, it was kind of like, you know, while they're enjoying their time together, they are still two different people in terms of their approaches, right? Like, there's a moment here where there's a demon who they have to basically like save these people that are like kind of like war criminals, almost, like, you know what I mean, like they're refugees, sorry, let's say, like in an altercation with a demon of some sort, and they have to go and rescue these people, and he has to offer them like you know, a room and board, essentially like asylum in his place, because the fact that they have nowhere else to go, and this demon is treating them like shit basically, and like, I guess, making them slaves and stuff. So like they have to go. And Clea, her approach to this is obviously different than Doctor Strange, and she wants to take this guy down, and he's like, no, listen, we can't just roll in there and just, like, you know what I mean, there's, you know, there's rules to this, and we can't just, like, you know, it's like a sovereign state or something, you know what I mean, like, what does he say, like, it's like they can't just he has jurisdiction essentially in this area,
Yeah,
like,
you can't come in here and
yeah,
like
royalty, like, it's like what's it called, like,
political asylum
yeah. So it got kind of very
or
political in a sense, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, this is actually, I don't think we've seen a type of story like this. And Clea, like, by the end of this, like, because she's so angered by it, I mean, I think it's just them trying to, you know, a red herring of some sort. But it looks like this guy gets taken out at the end of this issue, and I guess we're left to suspect that possibly Clea went out. Went out on her own and took this guy out without Doctor Strange knowing, which is possible. I mean, the way it looks, but, you know, it could just be them trying to make us think this as a result. And obviously, this is going to probably cause issues with their relationship. We'll see, man. And I just thought it was a fantastic first issue. This backup story is also written by Jed McKay. I'm kind of, it's cool to see Wong branch out, but I kind of like seeing him as Doctor Strange's servant, to be honest. Like, you know, and also, like, it's someone who assists him in all things. So this, I guess, now because Clea's there, they figured they can have Wong have his own adventure with the Wand organization, which they set up again in the Strange series. So that was a cool. It's a different idea, and it's a way to kind of bring back that concept that they left in the last series as well. I thought. I remember we liked that Wand stuff, Chris. It was kind of like the shield of magic, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but then again, like, they find the dead body here at the end, so it looks like this backup story for the first issue is gonna link directly up to the main story. So yeah, man, great debut issue. I thought. I mean, I wouldn't say meh like Chris. I thought it was amazing, but I'm a big Doctor Strange fan, so I thought this is a great issue. So
Yeah, I did like all the stuff except the story that's going on here with him with that whatever, that purple dimension or wherever they went to.
Okay.
But all that other stuff with, Spider-Man showing up and Black Cat showing up and just kind of just rehashing what happened while he was away. I thought that was great stuff.
Okay.
I give it a 3.75. I liked it.
4.5 for me. Don't listen to this guy. This guy. Don't listen to this Chris guy, guys. No. All right. Next up, we got Catwoman number 53.
One of my DC, so I didn't get I don't have the physical copy, but it's coming. I have one of the variant covers, and I think it's a pretty sweet one.
Nice.
But here, there's more Catwoman still in jail. She's building her army. And I guess the Royal Flush Gang still out there doing what you're doing in Alley Town. What the heck's going on here? Oh, and that's I guess that's the Catwoman that's out there just kind of taking care of business. And I think they've sort of, in the jail at least, they've kind of figured out that Catwoman's communicating with the outside world, so they kind of shut off that communication. So as she's trying to build her little crew in there, she sends them on a quest or a little test to get a cell phone or a cell phone charger. And they sort of kind of plan on escaping until the Royal Flush Gang gets arrested and they get sent to jail. So now they're all in the same jail, and I guess we'll see what happens there. That's not a bad issue. It's good art, good story. It's moving along as well as it should. But I'm starting to get a little bored of this series. You know, they got to keep these covers coming. Maybe I'll keep on buying them. But we'll see how it goes. I give it a I give it a 3.75 though. It's still a good issue.
Nice. Okay, next up we got She-Hulk 11, and with it a another art change.
I did get a. This is one of the variant covers for She-Hulk 11.
Hold up, let me see this. Nah, nice one. Nice. Yeah.
This was a good comic here. There's another, like you say, another art change. I did check it out because I did like the art inside this one. You know, it's more of a
Mhm.
simple art, let's say. This one reads well online if you're reading on a tablet. You know, like it's not there's not so much going on, so it's easy to follow. But you know, I wasn't sure if I ordered this in pre-orders or not, and I'm glad I did when I found it because I did like this issue. It kind of brings it back into the earlier issues where it's just more fun. You know, they have their fight club going on. They invited now the Thing. I think Luke Cage and Danny Rand are there, and I guess Volcana. They're just having some fun, letting off some steam. And what's her name? Then I guess She Hulk gets called away to meet up with her Jack of Hearts there. They still have their issues, and then I think they're trying to get busy. Then Fantastic Four calls, and she's kind of just on guard duty there. She runs into this villain here. Looks like she'd be able to take care of no problem, and he turns out to be more than a handful. And at the end, I guess maybe next issue, she's a little frustrated, and she might be taking care of business. That's good stuff, though. I like that. It was a nice, fun comic. I give
Yeah.
it a 4.
Yeah, I like the art on it. It looked good, and I'm
Yeah,
thankful.
it moves away from that last story of somebody's trying to steal her powers and all that sort of baloney.
Yeah.
And we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm liking this again.
I didn't like the look of the
Pull me back in.
All right, next up we got Swamp Thing Green Hell #3. This is the third and final issue that came out over a year after its debut. Oversized black label book, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Doug Monkey, and also, I mean, I thought it was Lemire, but it was him clearly that fucking slowed this book down. It looks like, and some guy named Sean Mull for the last issue. So there's a mix of somehow this guy, the other issue looked rushed #2, and somehow this guy had help on this third issue. So I mean, I'm just glad it came out, but I was disappointed to see like there was some pages of this that didn't look like Doug Monk. I don't know if it was the other artist trying to ape his style or just a mixture of the both of them working together that made it look that way. But for the most part, it looked consistent, but there was some pages that stood out where I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look like the regular artist we're used to on this title. So that was a little disappointing, but other than that, I liked it. I thought it was a good conclusion. I think I did, or I'm going to pre-order the hardcover of this. I will double dip and pick this up because I am a fan of Swamp Thing and Jeff Lemire, and overall, I thought it was a really well told story. In this final issue, you know, Swamp Thing is basically super weakened by the end of the last issue, and he's trying to tap into the green, but he's technically against the green and the red elements right now, and the rot all at the same time, and like they're kind of like I said in this apocalyptic, wasteland of a world, and they're trying to fight back because these elements have been trying to take out the human race because they've taken over at whatever's left of them, and he's trying to fight back for them, and basically got brought back for that very reason by John Constantine. And yeah, I mean, he's always been an avatar for the people, despite being part of the green. But in this one, he's just been very weak, and he has no power source really to tap into as a result of being up against them. And they go and actually Jeff Lemire, when he started at DC Comics years and years ago, he wrote an Animal Man series, and in that Animal Man series, he had continued the stories of his family, I guess, that were mentioned in previous like older series, and he had a daughter, and her name was Maxine. I don't know if he created her or he just kind of wrote the first stories of them, or at that time, like I guess it hadn't really been developed that much, his family, but or at least his daughter at that age. And in this issue, it was nice because he got to reunite with that concept with having a future story of Maxine all grown up, and she's Animal Woman now. And I think this is the first time we've ever seen this character. And, you know, there's no Animal Man now alive, but it's his daughter that kind of, so to see him kind of incorporate that, knowing that he kind of wrote her in that Animal Man series and it was referenced in this and stuff like that, and being a fan of that, I was really happy to see that again. So she gets called upon by John Constantine, who's working with Deadman in this, and she helps him out by representing the Red and kind of coming to Swamp Thing's aid, and him with the Swamp Thing with the people. They fight back here. But as you can see, like Swamp Thing isn't huge here. He's very lean and like thin, and he's like, you know, he's weak and former shell of himself. And John Constantine, he has one more trick up his sleeve in this, and he basically like slits his wrists and kills himself in this issue and goes to like the afterworld, like to hell. And once again, you know, makes a deal with the demon. And this time he's like, you know, the demon's like, I'm not fucking playing ball with you. You're going to die either way. And you've tricked me in the past. And I'm not falling for it this time, Constantine. And he's like, no more tricks. He's like, listen, you know, so he makes a deal with them. And he ends up dying in this story. He makes a deal with the demon, one final deal for him to power up Swamp Thing and these guys to kind of win the day essentially, and that's what ends up happening. They take down all the red and the green and the rot, or they keep the rot at bay as a result of teaming up him and Animal Woman, and they win. And at the end of this girl, you know, she ends up surviving and reuniting with her father and the people that are left in this world that live to see another day. And at the end, there's a panel at the end that shows her kind of crouched over like a grave, and there's something sticking up out of the grave, and all of a sudden it flourishes with all this you know, basically letting you know that Swamp Thing, even though he's gone away again and what, you know, resting again and, you know, in peace, he's still around, right? Like his essence is still there, right?
Like
So
regenerating or something.
yeah, so it was a nice ending. I thought it was a good series. I'm a big fan of Swamp Thing, so I think if you guys are as well, definitely worth checking out. There's 3 oversized issue, or like I said, there's going to be a collection coming out in a couple months. So I gave it a 4. It was good. And then next up, you got Batman One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul #1. Chris, I think you got to check this one out, man. This is an exceptional comic. This is an exceptional comic. It's honestly probably one of the best Ra's al Ghul stories I've ever read. I mean, it is a one shot. It is an oversized issue. It's written by Tom Taylor, art by Ivan Reis or Reyes. I don't know how to say his name, but this is some of the best art I've seen him do in recent memory. It's been a while since I've seen him. He's an artist I used to work with Jeff Johns quite often and did a lot of like, you know, a lot of DC events. But like, it's almost like he tapped into his inner Neil Adams in this. There's some like Neil Adams who famously drew a lot of stuff with Ra's in DC Comics back in the day. There's a lot of scenes with Ra's al Ghul in this that really looked like he was trying to do some sort of style, or at least tap into that kind of essence of the character. And there's like a great scene with him and Batman, which, you know, I'll show in a moment when we go through the art here, like sword fighting, which has happened in past stories as well, which fucking looked awesome. Yeah, this is basically just a one and done story about Ra's al Ghul. You know, at the start of this, he gets resurrected in one of the Lazarus pits. They tell you a little bit about his past, and you know, basically the fact that he's been alive for hundreds of years. And I wouldn't say like it gave you anything new, like any new information on the character, but like it really summed him up, I think, really well with fantastic artwork and a well told story. I will say one thing that happened in this. Yeah, you had some sad, him and his dog Wolf fucking companion dying in this sad moments. One thing that happened in this that I'm sure Chris wouldn't appreciate though, because he mentioned this very recently, is once again Batman dies in this issue. There is a sad moment with Damian crying and coming to his aid, and there is a moment of him basically putting on the you know, on the mask. And in this, though, he obviously resurrected him with a Lazarus pit. So all in the same issue, he died and came back to life, which again, yes, has been happening a lot in the comics lately. And it's one of those things I think it's losing all meaning at this point because it happens so often. But when he came, you know, when he got resurrected in this, like I said, there's this great moment where you've seen Ra's al Ghul. He had this whole scheme in this issue where he was basically taking out all the powers around the world, like all the ones that are put in these, like, you know, good political positions and stuff like that, and basically replacing them, taking out all the bad people that are basically running the world right now, and replacing them with better suited people for those roles. And of course, it's not the way that Batman would do things, but he's like, this is how we're going to move forward as a society. He's like, these are horrible fucking evil people in these positions of power. And it really just taps into, I think, something that I think we could see going on in the world right now. If we wish we could do something like that ourselves. So it's one of those, it's one of those things that like Batman's like, it's not right, and this isn't the way we should do things. But Ra's al Ghul actually cares about about society, and doesn't care that he has to kill people and overthrow people and put people into positions of power to do it, right? So it's one of those kind of things that it's wrong, but it's not the right way of doing things, but it's the way that a villain would probably approach this type of stuff, right? So and that they would never agree on. So, but yeah, the art was great, and by the end of it, yeah, he got killed by Batman and resurrected in the Lazarus pit 2 years later. So yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's a really great, one of the better Batman Bad Day issues. Fantastic art, and one of the better Raw stories I've read in recent memory. All right, Chris, Punisher number 10.
Oof. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Punisher number 10. Wow. Guess he goes on a freaking killing spree in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess his wife there kind of sees what he's been up to with all those kids he's been trying to resurrect that don't make it. And the ending of this one, oof, I don't know. We can talk about, him going to doing his Punisher things, going to all these, I guess, evil people and just wiping them out. But the ending of this, man alive, that got me going. I can't wait for, what's this? A couple more issues left after this. The stuff with the wife is okay. Even the like the backstory or the where he goes back in time, it
was good.
It didn't bug me quite as much this time.
No, I agree with you. That was one of the main things I was going to comment on. I think that the flashbacks in this issue were pretty good, actually. I thought it was like, I mean, you got a moment with him witnessing someone's death, like
where he's going to the Rikers Island or wherever just to witness the executions and stuff like that. It's fun when not fun, but it was interesting, I guess, when she was in the bar and he didn't know that she was there, and then he freaking flips out on the guy, and then she kind of realized, this is what I got here. Yeah. And it just kind of ruins his whole history, though, as the Punisher from his original backstory. But anyways, that's, I guess, besides the point. But with him kind of crossing all the names off his list where he thinks he's almost done, and I guess that's where Maria finds out that he's been trying to resurrect the kids unsuccessfully many times, and there's many graves out there. It's like, oof. And it looks like, you think, okay, he's what he says he's done there for a second. He goes, I crossed the last name off my list, I'm finished. And then these guys show up. I don't think so, buddy. He's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to see these next 2 issues. The rumbling I've heard is that they want to kill the Punisher off for good. But we'll see. I hope not.
I know, I've heard that too. I think there was an article out about it today that I saw. I think what they're saying is, at least from the way the solicit's written, that this version of the Punisher as we know him will be done, and place will be replaced. It's another version of that character, possibly, right? Where I don't know how keen I am on that. To your point about, like you said, like some of this flashback stuff maybe is not what has been told previously of this character, or different in that sense. But I mean, you could make that argument about this whole series, though. But at least I'll take what I can get for this character. Yep. And I don't think he's been doing that bad of a job. And I think it is exploring different types of stories with the character, given that they had to change their approach, I think, returning to this guy, right? So I think a little bit, I guess. I think we're past the point where you can bring him back and the symbol and everything else. Quite frankly, I think it's far removed from the events that happened at the Capitol, where I think that people were rocking that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
I think that's baloney to begin with, just for them to even bow to that. But anyways, that's besides the point. The story in itself, it's been a good series. I know we bagged on it a few times earlier when they kind of spent a lot of time in those flashback scenes, but eh.
I just think it's one of those things that, yeah, it sucks that people adopted that symbol and that had happened, of course. But I also think that you're giving it more power than it deserves by not proceeding
Yeah,
to.
by falling to, by you should let Punisher be the Punisher still.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll see if this ends and then he ends up going back to the way he was. I would love that. If he becomes something else, to be, to be discussed, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see where that goes. Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know if I don't see him for a year or two, let things die down, and he can come back as, and this can be just kind of an off-world story or something, and he's the Punisher again. Who knows?
yeah. So what'd you give this 1 out of 5?
With that ending, though, I got to give it a 4. That ending really had me going.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 too. Yeah, yeah. I think that the main artist, like the main storyline, not the flashback artist too,
Yeah,
it killed this issue. Like he kind of, because you needed the big, like you said, like he went around destroying everybody in this issue, and like
yeah,
you had those great splash pages of just destruction and mayhem, and like he's done a great job throughout the whole series, but I think like this issue in particular, like he stepped it up, I think, and did a really
yeah.
great job. Yeah, for sure. All right. Speaking of great art, Vanish #5. What'd you
Oof.
think of this? Got
Now
my
this story took a bit of a turn here.
Oh, let's see. Let's see what cover you got. You got that one. You got the Stegman. Okay, I got the Daniel Warren Johnson, and you can't go wrong either way, guys.
Yeah, they've been covering. The only thing I worry about this is that Donny Cates writing it, and I don't know if he's going to be on this or kind of how this is fitting into to what's going on with him. Like I don't know what's going on with him, but I know he's dropping off a lot of things. I hope
Yeah.
he's not dropping off this because they've added a new layer to the story, and I think it's great. I don't know if this is a story device that he used before, but now you're not even sure if this world that we've been following the last few issues is even real.
Yeah.
And it's just want to see which way it goes, and I thought it's great either way.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I also hope that's not the case with this series and Kate's. There's been no mention of it as of yet, so I hope like that doesn't happen. Um, as time goes on, I'm starting to wonder if it's just him having personal issues, but also maybe something with Marvel. I don't know because he
Yeah,
kind of
maybe it's just he's just having a problem with the big issues, and if he's happy doing just this, I'm happy with that too.
I agreed. Yeah, I think, and I think this would mean more to him just because this is a creator-owned story, and I know him and Stegman are friends, so I hope
Yep.
that's the case. Yeah, Stegman, of course, art on this is killer every time, and yeah, I will say that this story, I love these type of stories when you don't know what's real and what's not, and if he's crazy or if he's not. I
Yeah,
couldn't. I won't say I don't think he's done this type of thing before, but I will say this is kind of similar to what I think most recently we saw with the last Moon Knight series that Lemire had written. There was something similar like that in this that also happened in the show where he kind of is in a mental institution, and that was kind of explored.
yeah,
Whether or not like the things that he was, the Khonshu and all that was made up in his head. But that's always been a kind of a theme
yeah.
through
It's not a
Night. Yeah.
you can't be ripping somebody off. That storyline has been out there numerous times and forever.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like I still like these types of stories, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so that's not me saying like fuck this, like that he's
yeah.
doing.
It's sort of like the Matrix type story. You never know what's real or what's going on.
I love the idea though that this guy was the one that was conducting all this. I quite frankly think it is real. I think it's this that's going on. Like I don't think it's like I think he was the one that was messing with his head.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know because he seems pretty convinced because his wife or whatever the woman that he was with is in that other,
yeah. I guess in the sane world, let's say where he's in the asylum. But I
right.
think that's just that's going to get played out. He's the
But
world we've seen in the last few issues is the world that it is.
right, but we also know that he is a drug addict. So like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who's to say? And like, if he was schizophrenic, maybe like so yeah, really interesting. Really interesting right now. Yeah, I think
That
that
just better not be, like when the series wraps up, he just wakes up, oh, what a dream. Because
yeah,
that'd be brutal.
I don't like that. Yeah.
I don't like that either, but we'll see.
But yeah, pick a side and say whether or not it's real or not. I don't care which one, but don't say it's a dream sequence, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you give this out of 5?
Uh, I give it a 4.25. I thought it was good. I liked it a lot.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, good issue. Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #2. This is one of the Sins of Sinister miniseries here, 2 of 3.
Yeah, I feel like I've been missing out on these 3 series, miniseries or whatever that have been going along with this Sins of Sinister. I thought this is another great issue here,
Yeah.
and just everything that's going on in there. Now I think they're 100 years out, and you kind of see the fallout of all their decisions from, I guess, the first issue 10 years ago. And I don't know, this had a bit of a Star Wars feel to it. Like, right off in the beginning, they started with like almost with what's that,
the scroll,
the scrolling, yeah. And they're rebels, and they're going through there, and there's the Death Star almost. They got to find a way in there. So, but it was still fun. It was like, I know they're just trying to push their Star Wars series in this year, but I thought it was a fun homage to that sort of story, but a totally different story inside. And just the way they kind of are using everybody's power sets to do what they need to do to win, and I thought it was good.
I'm glad you caught on to that, because that is what I felt throughout this. Like you said, there was talk about the rebellion and everything else, and
there's like the X-Fighters.
But I'm okay with that. Like, yeah,
I'm okay with it too. I thought it was great. It's fun.
I love the look of Old Storm in this. I thought she looked awesome in this, like the design of her. And I like the way it ended. I agree. This has also been a strong miniseries since this. I think the only one I haven't liked is the Nightcrawlers one that much. But it's just because I'm confused. I don't know if it's good or not. Like, I mean, like, I'm being very confused at the storyline in that one. But I think otherwise, Immoral X-Men and this one have been big time winners. I agree. I wish I had picked this up as well in issues, but
and it's the perfect. It's only 3 issues, so it's not a big commitment. But I didn't really think they'd be this good.
No,
I get burned so many, like in that what's that Judgment Day, or some of the other issues where you follow them through, and it's just like some nonsensical stories that don't matter. But I thought these ones were all great.
Yeah, and then and the fact, like you said, they're just 3 oversized issues. It's not going to overstay its welcome. Another month we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming in those series, and this will just have been a fun little, they're gonna be. I think there is gonna be like one of those Omega issue things, like where
I think the Minion or something or whatever.
But anyways, yeah. So what'd you give this out of 5?
I'm gonna have to push another 4 out here again. There's a lot of good issues this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. 4. I was going back between 3.75 and 4, but yeah. And also, like, I've been saying this, I think, about every title this week. There was killer on this issue. Like, this is. This was a great week of comics. Actually, this was the best week of comics I think in a while that we've had, because like
now that we're talking about it, like I say, I'm dropping a lot of, like, everything's 4.25. I did the 3.75 for Doctor Strange, but that's me.
I didn't want to get ahead of myself at the start of this conversation, because I know some weeks that could kind of just, if I like start the week off by saying, "Oh man, this is a shit week," like I usually like comments to the end.
Just gotta see how it goes, and it seems to be.
No, this was a solid week, like, which I think in the last few weeks we've had like so weeks and some that weren't. This was a solid week of comics. And a lot of them came out this week, so I'm really happy about that. So yeah. So Chris, yeah, you're gonna hit us up with some quick hits, some Chris quick hits here for you folks. Here we go. Some quick mentions of some things Chris checked out.
Yeah, just some stuff I've been kind of in and out of. We got Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt. I think it was a 5-issue miniseries. I think it was supposed to be played out as a sequel to the Kraven's Last Hunt. You got his son from, I guess Kraven had a wife from Wakanda, and then she had a son, and I don't know, Kraven kind of just, I don't want to say poisoned his mind, but I guess really influenced them. And then when he died, he blamed Spider-Man. And now Spider-Man's in Portland with Mary Jane pregnant, and he has no powers. And that's just a recap of the series. And and then he wanted to try and kill Spider-Man, and this was the final issue. And there's a lot of stuff about, I guess, the Wakandan wife. Let's say she was like some mystic from Wakanda that escaped, and she's in play here to help save Peter Parker. And then the big thing is here that that old, not old, but it's a throwback to that silver Spider-Man suit or whatever, with the spider armor.
Mhm.
because she sends him back to her house where she has some Wakandan artifacts there. And I guess as a seer, she knew that this would be happening. So he doesn't get his powers back, but basically he's in a vibranium suit to fight the, I guess, Craven's son.
Mhm.
But then, at the end of it, whatever, he ends up killing her. He ends up killing his mother.
Oh,
And then he realizes what an ass he's been. And, it just kind of wraps up a bit too quickly. And, it was a good series, but, it takes place, Mary Jane and Peter Parker together. So that interested me. I think they're pregnant, or she's pregnant now with what would have been Mayday Parker. So that would have been interesting to see that all play out. But basically, it was just, whatever, 5 or 6 weeks, and the last few pages of it is the follow up where they're kind of just living their life in Portland, and he has no powers. So that was okay. I'd give it a 3.75. Nothing great.
okay. Next up, Wonder Woman.
Next off was Wonder Woman 797. So this was the follow up, I think, to one of the Lazarus Planets, Revenge of the Gods. And in that last issue, Wonder Woman had to choose between saving the Amazons or saving kind of mankind. She had to turn her back to one of them. So she decided to save Themyscira or whatever it is. And Hera was powering up Wonder Woman to like God level. So I thought that'd be a big thing, and this was the follow-up issue. And it just turned out to be a big swerve. Hera's going like, "Hey, no way in hell I'm freaking turning you into a god." And then she throws her on a rock in hell, tied up with her lasso as a prisoner. And then since she's tied up with the lasso of truth, she's telling Hera, "Look, I would have never, the first chance I would have got to betray you, I would have tried to kill you." And then she's thinking, "Oh, I'm just as bad as these gods, and I'm playing their games." And I don't know what happens there, but somehow she escapes,
Right.
and life goes on. So I wasn't a big fan of that big swerve, but this is wrapping up. I think at 800, I think there's some decent coverage coming in. So I might be starting to follow this a little bit closely. And with the new Wonder Woman coming up, I think, is it Tom Taylor that's writing it, or
Tom King.
or
Tom King.
Tom King?
I'll
So I
be.
might, kind of see what's going on here and hang around for the first few issues. But this, as an issue, that swerve really threw me out, and wasn't a big fan of that. I give it a 3.5.
Okay.
And after that, something I didn't really see, but sort of piqued my interest was DC's Legion of Bloom. I thought it was a fun play on the words of Legion of Doom, and I thought there might be some sort of crossover with that. But it just turned out to be an anthology series with a whole bunch of stories of all different heroes with some eco-friendly storyline. I read the first one with Poison Ivy. Yeah, it was okay, but I didn't really bother to read the rest of them. So I don't know if I should really give a rating because I didn't read it all. The storyline with Poison Ivy was great, but I didn't see any Mondo artists on this or anything,
Yeah.
so it didn't really push me to read the rest of it. And I was trying to power through a lot of issues too.
Right. Yeah.
So
These are
no rating.
they're always like those 80-page fucking issues or 64-page issues or whatever they are. These specials.
Yeah, I know. I know with that whatever eco-friendly twist. It's not something that really, one story's fine, but freaking it's every story.
The theme
It's
of it.
all about mushrooms now. Everything's about mushrooms nowadays. Mushrooms are demons. We'll talk about demons later, but getting sick of both of them.
All right. So next up we got Blue Book #2. Yeah, out of as we just mentioned, it was a great week of comics. Unfortunately, this one was probably one of the weakest ones I had read, and I'm sad about that because it's something that it's right up my alley, something that should really be piquing my interest. I don't know if it's because these are stories retold of things I've already read up on in the past, like the Barney and Betty Hill thing where they encountered aliens that happened back in the day. And in a world that we live in now where they've basically openly admitted that aliens exist, it's kind of hard to even be like, oh wow, this is like some fantastical tale, and the retelling of it, I guess, is done in a serviceable way and it's well done, but it's just very bland and boring and matter of fact the way it's presented, and it's not really that interesting. And again, maybe it's because, like I said, it's almost like an adaptation of like a true story that apparently happened to somebody, and and I know the story, so maybe it's something where I'm like, I've had my fill of this, and I just find the comic version of the retelling of a story I know very well boring. So I found the first two issues of the main story in this series just not great. And I was really rooting for it because it's Tynan and Michael Ivan Oming, who I'm a fan of, the artist, and I think like in this moment, like in the issue that I'm showing on the screen right now, this was well done. Like there's a way that he kind of had to illustrate the passage of time, that they lost a couple hours on the road, that they like after they had seen this thing in the sky and possibly had went onto the spacecraft and spaceship and everything like that during this encounter. So I think the way he illustrated it to convey that was that well done. But other than that, it's just like, again, it's just a story I'm already aware of that I've read many times in the past. That I guess at that time when I was younger, my imagination kind of went wild with like the possibility.
Well, that's it too. These
Yeah,
stories aren't that too fantastical. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I lost 2 hours in the evening, and then
yeah,
big deal. Like the fictional stories of all these are so much better. So
yeah.
it's hard to kind of come up with the true story of what happened there and make it interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if I'll be talking about or reading the rest of these issues on the show here, um, or pick up the series for that, the paperback for that matter. Just because, like, yeah, it's been very bland. I felt like, and yeah. But if you're into this kind of stuff and you don't know this story, maybe you would get more out of this than I would. I don't know. And then again, there was another backup story in this because there's always two stories. Is the main one is the Betty and Barney Hill story, and then this one, every issue has been like a different, like other small, like kind of urban legend or like natural type of story. This one's about the Green Children, and I guess this is all based on actual stories people have told over time. And this one was done by the same artist. It was fine. I gave this a 3.25. It was nothing special. And in a week that, like I said, was so good, this just didn't make the cut. Like,
We spoke too soon about the great week we were having.
yeah, no, it just didn't rise to the occasion. No. It's still an overwhelmingly good week. I got to say, this just wasn't great, this particular one. Unless you're commenting on the books we have yet to talk about. Nightwing 102. Chris, your favorite character. What'd you think of this?
Favorite character? I thought it was an okay issue there. We got the shapeshifter. But, this was bringing back to the point there I was talking about earlier. Demons. I'm getting tired of demons. Demons everywhere. But I do like the Teen Titans in here. And, they kind of really take care of this freaking character as Teen Titans, or as Titans, whatever. I don't think they're Teen Titans anymore.
Yeah.
As Titans should. This guy isn't like some Omega level threat, and they kick his ass and they kick it good. And I thought it was great. Thought it was fun, and now we'll see how it goes.
I like this issue a lot. I actually thought this was sneakingly good. Like the way it started out, I wasn't sure where they were going with it, but like you said, like, the way they came together and took down this guy pretty quickly and took care of the threat in this issue was well done. I also like the creepy look of this guy as Nightwing, like as like a clone of Nightwing, and the fact that they hadn't battled it out Nightwing against Nightwing. I thought that was really cool. But the fact that he's a demon that can't stop smiling, I kind of liked how creepy and eerie he looked because like he's like, even when they met up with them, he's just like, he's like, hey, what do you mean? I'm Nightwing. And he's like, you're like, like it's just like, why is this guy smiling so much? And then like you see that he can't actually, like, that's part of the deal, I guess, that he made with the demon or
Yeah.
whatever. Right? So I quite like that. And I like the fact that the girl also has powers and she was able to defend themselves. This is obviously a continuation of this girl that he helped save in that night.
Yeah, is that like Blockbuster's daughter or something like that?
Blockbuster's daughter, which was introduced in that weird Nightmite story that they did like a few issues ago. Yeah, and I think this was a good use of the Titans. I agree with you. Although I will say, I agree with what you made comments about earlier when they first introduced the Titans in this book and made the explanation the fact they're going to basically be the Justice League now, essentially. When that book does launch, I hope this arc wraps and then they can focus.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully this is just a kind of a preview for the Titans to kind of build some hype for them.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to
I think that's what this is. I mean, if I had to guess, I think that's what this is. I just want this to be more of a focus on Nightwing himself, though.
Yeah. They're doing so good.
Exactly. Yes. But this is a good issue. I liked it. I liked where it went. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it 3.75.
I'll give it a 4. Next up, we got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 13. Chris, what'd you think of this one?
Well, this might be pulling me back in here. With that Boy Thunder arc gone finally, and kind of those filler issues done, and you're bringing it back in here. I think this what's his name, Metallo, the Element Man or something.
Chris, where was this issue last week when we did the quiz, bro? Remember that? This was one of the questions last week. One of the questions was about the that Wand of Rao or whatever the fuck it's called. Like his basically his origin was a question in our quiz last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, right. So, and in this issue, they reintroduced that whole origin of this character. I think in a brutal, modernized way. Let's be honest. Like the way they kind of like showed him melting there, I was like brutal. Yeah, like it's just so. Literally last week, guys. If you missed that episode, go back and check it out. Me and Chris did like a little bit of a comic book quiz that was presented by Christine, who's often on Cracking Packs with the Chat, another show on this channel, and she gave us a bit of a comic book quiz, and this was one of the questions. And me and Chris were clueless on this one. We're like, I don't know who this character is, and it was him. It was Metamorpho, right? So, but what else do you think about this one, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's great. I like this character. I remember reading him like freaking millions of years ago, and from my brother's comics, back in the freaking whatever the 80s or the late 70s or something. And I wasn't sure what his powers were. I remember he's always kind of a bit of a creepy character, and he's almost like an original Deadpool or something. Like kind of that merc or mercenary that's just out causing trouble. And I guess there's a bit of a swerve at the end, and that stuff with Superman or wasn't he sent Jimmy Olsen there to try and find out who the killer is, and that's who Jimmy Olsen comes with, and they're like, Clark, yeah, this is the story we're going to run. He goes, that's not right, but you can't really say anything now because I guess everybody forgot he's Superman.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Bruce Wayne's framed for murder, which also like is a really interesting story idea. I mean, it's happened before, but that's always an interesting one. And yeah, Dan Mora on art, never a bad thing on this series. And yeah, I think to reintroduce his origin this way and kind of sum up this character for the people that don't know him very well, me being one of them as well. Yeah, it's really cool. His powers, like he can turn into any sort of element that he wants. Like it's really neat.
Yeah, pretty much any element that's in your body, which I guess we have most of, it seems, or even if you have a trace element of it or something.
Yeah, so he's the main suspect at this time, but he's trying to tell him, it ain't me, right? Like because they killed the person that he worked for, essentially.
Yeah.
The plot thickens. Yeah, and yeah, I thought this was a solid issue as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I look.
Yeah, if they start dropping some cool covers, I might be back in. We'll see what's happening in the June solicits. Probably story might be over by then, but we'll see.
What'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 4. I think the art is great in here too. That's what's pulling me back as well.
Yeah,
Like the art and the color is such a good. This is like a comic book, let's say.
yeah, and I agree with you. I give it a 4 out of 5 as well. All right, and as always, ending off with Amazing Spider-Man 22. Chris, got my issue right here. What'd you think, Chris?
Well, it's explaining a lot of things. I'll say that much. At least it doesn't explain everything all in one fell swoop, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess there's more to explain, but I guess we can see how things are sort of happening. So this might be for real what's going on in the main storyline with Mary Jane having kids with this guy, and they're actually her kids. That's brutal. But
yeah.
the story, I think the story's almost secondary to this. That's the stupid demon. I'm like I said, I'm tired of these demons. I know all these demons hate Spider-Man. They're always freaking trying to mess up his life. Like, what the hell did he do to these demons all the time? But you can see how the creator, the way the creator, was created. Let's say, I think that's a bit ho hum. I was expecting, I thought there'd be a bigger story behind it, and I'm not really super impressed, but I'm happy they're explaining what's going on.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, like, I think like coming out of that event, which I didn't really have high hopes for, but ended up loving, the dark web, and then coming back finally into this thing that they've been lingering for 20 issues into this series. I wasn't expecting much because I felt like there's a reason maybe they just kind of didn't want to go straight to this story and let this be.
Yeah, I can see why now, but
I mean, but its story's not done yet, but I think you could already see what exactly happened here, at least by the end of this issue. Yeah, it looks like they were separated, and
yeah, whatever, time moves differently in that world, but you never know why. Like, you still don't know why that guy's there in the beginning. Or no, I guess they explained it. He was part of the team and he was sent there, but I don't know.
I just think this would hold more weight for me if it was a villain I was familiar with, if it wasn't
Yeah,
things that happened like millions of years ago in the
yeah, like who did, like, would they bring up some baloney guy out of nowhere?
I
Well,
mean,
I
like,
guess it's not. I guess this is a callback from some other freaking obscure issue millions of years ago. But
right, which is fine, and sometimes that works, but I think in this instance it isn't, because I was
yeah,
expecting that a bit more, and maybe something that was that I was more familiar with. Like, I still really liked your theory. Like, I would have loved if they tied this into what happened in the Fantastic Four book, because like I was like, the timing worked out really well on that, if that was like
yeah.
the
But
explanation.
yeah, I guess that's not the case because this happened in whatever Yorktown or something, and whatever happened, it was in New
Yeah,
York.
yeah, so it's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
I listen, I'm not we love this title. So I think it's still the same team when this arc is said and done. I think it'll hopefully continue on with a great run that it's been having. So I'm not going to hate on it all that much at this moment in time, but I think it's okay. But it's not as good as it was previously, I
yeah.
think.
Like, it's not worth the hype there. Like, I'd like. I just want this out of the way just to move along with the story and see what happens.
Same. I think the faster they get over this story,
Yeah, get over this, and if they want her, if they want Mary Jane to be out with this guy and have kids and have Spider-Man running around with Black Cat, that's cool. Or have Spider-Man, kind of explore his life, I guess that's fine. But let's just get this over with.
agreed.
Unless they got something freaking monster up their sleeves, and if they did, that'd be super awesome. But
Yeah,
I'm not holding my breath on that one.
we might be changing our tune in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and if they can do that, then freaking, I'm all for it. But
Same.
you know,
You know,
I'm not like I said, I'm not holding my breath.
that being said, I don't think this is bad. It's just
No, it's not bad. It's decent, but
yeah,
it's not living up to like some hype. You can't start a freaking series on that, that big hole layer, whatever, that sitting in a crater, and then say, oh, we're gonna pass 6 months and not talk about it for a year, and then have it this.
right. Yeah.
Well, getting upsetting.
What'd you give this out of 5 then, Chris?
3.5. I don't want to do it, but I will.
You read my mind. Yeah, 3.5. Yep. All right, guys. Now we're gonna talk about the new comic solicitations for DC and Marvel that are for June 2023. Let me just adjust that here. But yeah, we're gonna talk about DC and Marvel this one, and then hopefully by next week we'll have some of the other publishers. If there's anything we want to highlight out of those, we'll talk about that next week. But
June's a big month.
yeah, let me just share my screen here. 1 second. What do you want to do, Chris? Marvel or DC first?
Either way, I've seen the DC ones already, but I haven't seen the Marvel yet.
Okay, let's save that for last then. Let's get into the DC first then. I haven't seen them at all either. They literally just dropped this afternoon, guys. So yeah, this will be interesting for all of us here. All right. So DC. Let's see. Once again, shout out to comicreleases.com. This is normally where we preview our solicitations for
Might
this.
not be the first place, but it's the best place to get them all at once. That's for sure.
Green. Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned that they do a good job of compiling it all. Okay, so Batman 136. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I don't know about that Archer Robin cover though.
Yeah, Christine, who also recently has been making an effort to catch up on her reading out of our comics over here. She also agrees that the current arc is not that great, like compared to the failsafe one, right? So I think I'm looking forward to the next one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's again fine, but it's not as great as failsafe was right out the gate, right? So
yeah, it doesn't help that freaking. Hope they get that George Jimenez guy back, but doesn't look like it.
Normally I don't read into these, but look what this one says. Failsafe and Red Mask have forever changed back. Oh, okay, they're not teaming up. Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know they can throw Failsafe in there, they'll pull you back or something.
So it looks like with this issue, we're actually heading in a new direction. So that's good. And we got a new artist, Balin Ortega, who's really good. I think she was an artist that worked on some of the what's her name? Punchline stuff. I think maybe not the series you're reading now, but maybe previous stuff with her. And
Okay, that's good.
one of these really good cheesecakey artists. So hopefully they picked an interesting
Well, we'll see.
stuff for her to draw. So yeah, Balin Ortega, I believe that's who that is. So yeah, Batman 136. Yes, Penguin #1. I might want to check this out. I don't know whether or not I'm going to check it out online digitally or not yet. Probably I would say, but it's written by Tom King, who's done a lot of good work on Batman. So I'm definitely going to check it out, whether it's in physical or online.
I wonder if they're going to be following the line where he's dead or something, or kind of just living his life now that.
They are. They're saying
Oh,
this solicitation says after retiring to Metropolis following his death, in quotations, because he's not actually dead.
yeah.
So basically, this is following up on the story that Zdarsky did in the backups previously. So yeah, this might be interesting. I mean, they have a good team on it. And because of that, they're actually coming out with a Penguin #0, which collects all the backup stories that Zdarsky did in Batman. So if you guys want to get caught up, that's a pretty good way about doing it. I got to give them a shout out. I think that's actually good on DC to do that. So the Penguin #0 is going to be the Zdarsky written issue. Oh, there you go. Balin Ortega did the art on this. The artist I was just talking about that's doing Batman now. So there you go. So that's collecting all that. That was actually a really good backup story as well, that Penguin one. I thought that was really well done, that one. So that'll be interesting. So how about you, Chris? You think you might be checking this out? Or
I'll check it out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Piquing my interest.
Batman the Brave and the Bold #2. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue with this, man. Like, again, I don't know if I'm doing it online or physical still for this either, because it is an anthology, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the teams continue to be killer on this, and it looks like they're continuing the stories from the first issue. So, like, even the first 5-6 issues of this, as they normally do with these type of anthology things, once all the good writers are done, I usually jump ship, but because they usually like to debut with the best teams that they have.
Yeah.
But this is good stuff here. Joel Jones is writing a story in this. You got Tom King, Christopher Cantwell doing stuff. Like, this is some good teams on this book. I'm definitely going to be checking this out one way or the other. I don't know about you, but Chris?
Yeah, maybe read it online, but I don't think I'll be buying it.
Poison Ivy 13, Chris.
I think I'm out on this here for a while until the storylines pick up a bit.
Okay. Nice covers as always, though. Whoa, look at that Frank Cho one. Nice.
Yeah, it's probably a ratio.
It probably is, yeah. No, it's actually a regular one, this one, the Frank Cho one. Nice.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's see what this one has to do with. A romantic night with your sweetie in the swamp. Well, there you go, Chris. This might be a Harley.
Well, maybe.
Might be worth checking out. Then we got Nightwing 105. Yes, continuing with this. Check out some covers here. That's a cool one.
Oh, this one's supposed to be done in like a first person or something. It's supposed to be another kind of wacky issue.
Oh, great. Like they did previously. Nice. Okay, I'm down with that. Yeah, it is a special issue uniquely designed for them to be Nightwing for a day. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Oversized. Yeah, I'm here for that. That sounds interesting. Catwoman 56, Chris. Oh my God, the banger covers on this series. That one's kind of weird, actually. I don't like that one, but look at that one. The Dodson.
Yeah. I guess I'm buying Catwoman.
They got this. This is the Joshua Swaby, and then you got a Sweeney Boo one. Very cool. Yeah, nice covers. The Joker on cover #1. I think this is a cover collection, if I'm not mistaken. So no, not gonna grab that. Superman #5. Yep, I'm continuing with it.
I think so.
I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Like a sketch cover. Yeah, I'm definitely continuing with that one. Oh, is that Banshee or whatever her name is? Yeah. Action Comics 1056. No. Oh, we got some beach covers here.
Oh yeah, I'm getting this one for sure.
Yeah, you're a fan of the beach covers, eh?
Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, maybe I don't know. There's one or the other. This one or the other one. We got two there.
Is that part of the same thing? Maybe it's like a flip cover type thing. I don't
No,
know.
I think they're two separate covers.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Actually, I just saw right now they've teased a future solicitation in the collections, anyways. Of they're actually going to come out with a paperback that collects all of the War World storyline from Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
Worth checking out or no, Chris? Overall,
I don't know. I don't think that War World was that great a story. It's great art inside, but
okay,
I don't know. A Gladiator Superman, come on.
right. Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, #3. No.
No.
Adventures of Superman, John Kent. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm reading this. I didn't pick up the first issue, so I'll probably continue reading it online. But I really like that first issue. It's a 6-issue series written by Tom Taylor. He's bringing in like his Injustice stuff and everything else, Earth 2 stuff. I'm on board. Steelworks #1. This is a Steel story. No, nothing against Steel, but yeah, I'm not interested in this. You?
Yeah. No.
The 6-issue miniseries Shazam 2. Yes, Dan Mora, Mark Waid, the team from Batman Superman World's Finest. Definitely on board. Ooh, this Chris Somney cover. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab the Chris Somney cover. As much as I like Dan Mora, that's a sick fucking cover. You on board for this, Chris?
I don't know. I might be passing.
Oh, I thought you were on board last one.
I don't know.
This might be good. Nice covers.
Yeah, that's a nice cover there.
Yeah, I might read this online. Nice covers. Green Lantern 2, no. Unstoppable Doom Patrol 4. I think I'm going to be reading this online. Whether or not I'll still stick with it at the 4th issue here, we'll see. But I like the Doom Patrol. Harley Quinn 31, yes.
Yeah.
Sweeney Boo now on board. There's her cover. Again, just like really good covers for this series. Look at that. That's a 1 out of 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, good.
Yeah.
So I do like the A cover.
Spirit World 2, no.
Donna
City Boy
BT.
2, no. The Vigil 2, no. Definitely trying to, create some new, I think, multicultural here. Titans 2.
Well, we'll see.
I'll be reading this. I'm on board. Why not? Tom Taylor, Nicola Scott. It's a good team. Cyborg 2, no. The Flash, no. 800 though. This is like going to be one of those oversized issues, along with Wonder Woman, and then they're relaunching it at #1, I believe. So again, the Flash, the new team on the Flash isn't bad either, but I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out online because I do like the guy who's writing it. Like he's a hit or miss with me most of the time. Like some stuff I really like by him, sometimes I don't like his stuff, but we'll see. Wonder Woman 800. There you go, Chris. You're just talking about this. Look at these covers. Which one are you going with? Let us know.
I'm not. Yeah, I haven't seen the. Maybe that cover. I like that one there.
This previous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Classic one.
A throwback to the '70s Wonder Woman spinning around.
Let's say, yeah. Oh, it's a Brian Boland one. Yeah. Yeah. These are probably like the 1 out of 50s and stuff like that at this point. Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. DC Pride 2023 #1. No, but there's some good writers on this. Grant Morrison, Christopher Cantwell, some good people. DC Pride Through the Years #1. Is this Pride Month in June? Yeah, right? I guess so. Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Batman Incorporated #9. No. Tim Drake Robin #10. No. Peacemaker Tries Hard. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm on board for this one. This is gonna probably be, if it's in the same tone as this show, I'm here.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm in for this. They doing these like movie covers for all these. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for sure. Sandman Universe Nightmare Country, The Glass House #3. No. The Riddler Year 1. No. Batman White Knight Presents Generation Joker 2. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about this one. I might definitely read it online.
Yeah.
But I know it's all focused on what's Joker's daughter or something.
Yeah, and her father. They're like on a road trip together. Like, I guess this is.
Yeah. I imagine it's going to be good because they're going to throw in a whole bunch of other stuff there.
I'm in. I mean, I've bought into this whole, and then this is usually like these are the miniseries they bring out on based on other characters in between the main White Knight chapters.
Yeah.
So normally you don't get two going on at once. So like I'm invested in this like White Knight universe at this point. So I'll be checking this out for sure. I think it's some good stuff. I think his wife is also she's a writer and she's the one who's writing this one. John Murphy wrote the story. She's actually writing like he plotted it. There's a good
Yeah.
artist on it, and she wrote the Harley miniseries, and it was actually really good. So if that changes her mind at all, I just wanted to give a shout out for that because I think despite Sean Murphy not being like the artist or main writer on this, there is still I think hope for that series. Like I think it's going to be a really good tie-in, not like the Red Hood one that was like a 2-issue weird thing that wasn't good, but this one I think will be really solid. Static Team Up. I didn't even know he's having a team up book. Static Shock team up book. Okay, Anansi #1. No. Icon versus Hardware #5. You know what? It's good though. It is good. They're continuing with all these milestone characters. Like I don't really have like much of a history with these guys, but again, like these are all like the black superheroes, like in the Marvel universe that they did the milestone line back in the day, written by black creators and drawn by them. A lot of people have a lot of love for some of these characters. I never really got into it, but Static Shock being probably the best of all of them. He's a popular character. Batgirl's #19. No. Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season 3. No. Batman Superman World's Finest. Yes. How fast is this fucking Dan Mora? How is he drawing this? And this guy's old books. I don't know how. Like, I don't know how fast this guy works or how far ahead he's fucking been drawing these things, but I don't know. There's always like 2 fucking stories that he's got going on a month. It's crazy. But yes, I'm in. What does this one have to do with? Anyways, this is Batman and Superman versus machines. There you go. AI villains and heroes. Shaggy Man. What? GI Robot. Oh yeah. All right, I'm in. Black Adam #12. No. DC Ruby 5. No. Detective 1073. No. Justice Society of America #7. Yes, I'm gonna continue reading this online. That's been fun. Multiversity, Harley screws up the DCU. No. Scooby Doo. Chris, are you continuing with Superman Lost?
I'll keep on reading it, but definitely not buying it.
Okay. Batman and Scooby Doo. Joker, Man Who Stopped Laughing. I think that's the end of this one, if I'm not mistaken. Wildcats. And that's it, guys. That's it for DC. All right. We're going to do Marvel now. It's not too much. I think probably a lot of our mainstays, but not too much in the way of new series, at least this month coming out that we're looking forward to checking out. Oh, I think I'm freezing up here. There we go. Sorry about that. Bring this up.
I think some big stuff going on in the Marvel freaking in June, though.
I haven't looked at it at all.
Ultimate Invasion or something.
Oh, the Hickman book. Does that come out in June? Probably, yeah. All right, here we go. Without looking at the collections here, just skipping ahead. Once again, shout out to comicreleases.com. Yeah, Ultimate Invasion 1 of 4, Jonathan Hickman. Yes, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I'll
in.
see what this is all about.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, from what I'm told, I think this will be a good jumping on point. Don't worry if you're not as familiar with the Ultimate Universe, guys. Like, it's been so long since they've done that. I think that's why they're trying to make it, I think, accessible. From what I understand, this is a 56-page issue, $8.99. Yeah, I'm in though. This is gonna be like again. This is a big deal. Hickman coming back to Marvel. He must have a good story in mind, and I'm really looking forward to this. So yeah, I'm definitely on board for this. Chris, Incredible Hulk #1. Are you going to check this out or what?
I'll definitely get it.
Wow.
I'll get the Hulk one, see what's going on.
That's a sick fucking cover by Nick Klein, who's also doing the
interior. I know. Well, that's it. She's freaking it. He draws the Hulk well.
This might suck me in. I don't know, man. I mean, definitely, like you said, I might read it online, but
I'll definitely get #1.
Yeah, that looks sick. Yeah. That's I mean, I love Nick Klein's interiors. I'm going to be sad losing him on Thor, but we don't even know what the future of that book is anyways at this point. So, all right, Black Panther #1. I didn't even know they were redoing another series of him.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm good. I don't like this creative team. I'm down for a Black Panther book. I'm not familiar with this creative team enough to check it out. But yeah, you got Eve.
Nice cover though.
Chris Allen. Yeah, some nice covers. Loki 1 of 4. No, I'm out. You?
Yeah, maybe read it online, but probably not.
I just saw this today. Captain Marvel number 50 is going to be Kelly Thompson's last issue.
Yeah, last issue there.
And I think just in time, like you said, because I know you had mentioned it, you felt like it was losing a bit of steam here towards the end. So, like, yeah, that's good. That's a good run. I read most of this in trades this series. I've ordered the omnibuses. I think this was a great series overall. It's probably one of the series.
I think I just missed all the good stories. That's the only problem.
It may have came on too late, quite frankly.
I think so.
I stopped reading it in trades, and I was waiting for the omnibuses to come out because they announced them. You started reading it, and then you told me you didn't love certain stuff that was going on. So, like, I gotta say that at least the first half of this series that I have read, really, really good stuff, in my opinion, because I haven't really read much Captain Marvel. So this was like probably like the first Captain Marvel series I've read so much of, like, of this character. So, like, yeah, I thought it was great, and I love Kelly Thompson. So yeah, that's cool to see. This is her longest title at Marvel too. She a lot of her books, unfortunately, over the years have gotten canceled early, or she only did like 10 issues or 15 issues. So I was happy to see her continue with this gig for so long. So yeah, shout out to her. Good job. Scarlet Witch Annual #1. No.
I think something big was supposed to happen in this one. It's like a preview of something. I don't know what it was, but
yeah, I saw an article about it. I didn't read it though. Yeah, I guess we'll see. The epic clash between Marvel's most powerful witches sets off a chain reaction that will affect the course of Marvel's summer. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It has something to do with the event between her and Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, maybe just read it online.
Yeah, maybe. Avengers 2. Yes, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Board. Nice. Amazing Spider-Man #27. Yes. What the fuck? Grief looms over Peter after last issue's shocking death. Okay, I guess we'll see what's going on there. That's why I don't like to read the solicits sometimes. But who knows what's happening there? It looks like we're moving on from whatever that storyline is, though. So
yeah, that's good news.
Yeah, Dr. Octopus is back. Oh, that's good news too. Cool. And then #28. Yes, we're both sticking with this one. Ooh, look at that cover. Hold a second here. Nice. Is that a regular? Yes, it is.
Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's the cover I'm grabbing. Elena Casagrande, Black Cat cover. Absolutely.
Yep.
Deadpool, Batter Blood #5 by Rob Liefeld. No, I'm good.
Maybe.
Nice. I'd love to hear you talk about it then, Chris.
I want one of its crazy covers.
Those are pretty good covers, I gotta say.
No, like the freaking the out of proportion, the off proportion covers.
The one where he's just floating in midair. Yeah, of course. That's the one.
I want to see the Captain America homage.
Yeah, with his tits. You got some Facsimile editions. Miles Morales, Spider-Man #7. I think I'm done with this after that last issue. I'm kind of losing interest in this series. I know you didn't read it, Chris, and we were yeah, I think I'm good on this. Especially
it's part of the carnage of the summer, the symbiote summer or something.
Yeah, here's all the symbiote books. Are you gonna be reading this? Any of this stuff? Red Goblin, Carnage Reigns Omega. Any of these, Chris?
I might read them. I think I did read the last Carnage one. You did. Carnage 11. I forgot to mention that, but that's wacky stuff going on in there.
Yeah, I think I'm out on that. But Groot #2, no. Warlock Rebirth #3 of 5. That is cool. It is
cool if this was happening now, but like it's all kind of just
it's past.
Yeah, it's all past stuff, and they're introducing all these new characters. Like, where the hell were they then? If they're so important, then how come they weren't in the stories then?
I mean, it is nice to see Ron Lim and these are guys that were on during the Infinity Gauntlet era that are doing this.
Yeah, why can't they write some freaking new stories then?
The one that I heard that was really good is the one that's out right now, the Avengers Through Time or whatever the fuck it's called. Like that one, that throwback book that's out right now, apparently is really good. It's like a Kang story again with like older creators that worked on the stuff. Good stuff, apparently. Guardians of the Galaxy #3. I don't know. I might check this out. I never said I was going to check it out the first 2 issues, but these
maybe, like I've never really Guardians of the Galaxy, they weren't around when I was reading them.
Right.
Especially the way they are now. And who knows?
Yeah, maybe I might read it online because my reasoning would be for the fact that these writers that are writing this series, actually are writing the Captain America series that's coming out right now, and I really liked that. So I've heard about these two, this writing team, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, for a long time. Never really read any of their stuff for the most part. But I've heard they're good. So like based off the Captain America book, I might have to check this out because I do like the Guardians and they have a good artist on it. Yeah, I might check this out. We'll see when it comes out what's going on, but maybe Daredevil and Echo #2. No. Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider 2. No. Venom. Are you done with this, Chris, or what? You're continuing.
I don't know.
Yeah, hard to let go, eh?
I can keep on teasing all this stuff that's going to be all crazy, but it's just freaking too crazy.
Venom 20 and 21, I should say. Yeah, there you go. And this is, I guess, going to be doing with the Carnage stuff as well. Or no, I guess it isn't. No, these ones aren't. That's weird. Okay. At least it doesn't say here. Silk #2, Extreme Venomverse. No.
They'll be in and out of that one, but it doesn't look like anything interesting is happening in that one.
Yeah. Edge of Spider-Verse #3. No.
No, I think I just want that first copy, that first cover with the spider dinosaurs fighting.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Spider-Man #9, Electro. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, this is picking up steam. This Spider-Man issues.
I mean, it's one more issue to go, and he's finally going to step away from the Spider-Verse stuff, Dan Slott. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean,
this isn't a miniseries though. This Spider-Man, is it, or is it a?
I mean, we're on issue 9 already. I don't think so. I think it's
that's an ongoing title.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to get rid of that Spider-Verse stuff and see what's happening.
Well, next issue is the last one, and I got to say, the second half has been better than the first half. So, like, yeah, I mean, and speaking of Spider-Verse, you got Spider-Man India #1 of 4.
Hey, great.
Hey, yeah, I'm not interested in it, but it's cool. Cult of Carnage, Misery #2. No. Son of Origins of Marvel Comics, Marvel Tales #1. And you got some reprints of Origins, it looks like, of characters with Stan Lee and Jack the King Kirby. Yeah. Venom Lethal Protector #4. No. Marvel's Voices Pride #1. No. Spider Gwen Shadow Clones #4. You reading this one?
I might be reading it.
Good cover.
I think I read the first one. It's wasn't too bad.
Get your boy Greg Land on that one.
Yeah, freaking enough of those covers.
See, look at this. Hallows Eve 4 of 5. So it is revealed that this is a miniseries. Remember what we were talking about? I was like, they didn't say 1 of 5 at first. I'm like, watch, this is gonna be one of those situations. If it doesn't sell well, which it probably won't, they're gonna reveal at some point that it's a miniseries and not an ongoing. And there you have it. I might keep with this. I really like the first issue. Actually.
Yeah, I'll keep on reading it.
Especially if
I'm missing these covers though. These covers are looking pretty good.
They are. I mean, the fact that they've just revealed it is a 5-issue miniseries, definitely I'll probably read it online. I'll continue with it. I thought the first one was not bad, so we'll see. X-Men Before the Fall, Heralds of Apocalypse #1. I didn't even know this was a thing. It's a one-shot. That's interesting. Maybe I'll check this out online. This is an apocalypse story. Okay. All right. I mean, I know he's been around in the books already on Krakoa, but this looks like old apocalypse shit going on here. Al Ewing? Yeah, I might check this out. I might pick this up even. I don't know. I didn't even know this was a thing. This looks interesting. Okay. You got the, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, maybe.
X-Men Before the Fall, Mutant First Strike #1. Yeah. So I guess this is because, like, they're saying that this era of the Krakoa stuff is finally coming to an end.
They're really pushing the preview to this event here.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
No. Storm #2, no. Bishop War College, no. Betsy Braddock, no. That's also now been revealed as a miniseries. I don't know if that was always the case. Maybe it was. Immortal X-Men #12. Yes.
Yeah, I'm back on this.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I like the header of this one. A colossal mistake.
That's a nice Colossus cover. Yeah. I get that one.
X-23 Deadly Regenesis. No, that was a bad first issue.
Yeah.
With this. New Mutants, Lethal Legion #4. No. X-Men Red #12. No.
I don't know. See what they got to say in this one because it's in and out. I was happy it was over because I didn't have to worry about it, but I guess it's not over.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the series to the point that Magneto was not part of the team, and then I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this. But that being said, the miniseries during Sins of Sinister by Al Ewing has been really good, so maybe that'll suck back in. I guess we'll see. Rogue and Gambit number 4 or 5. Yes, I'm reading this online. I don't think you were as big a fan of the first issue as I was.
Yeah, well, slow week.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent number 4 or 5. Same thing. I thought the first issue was okay, but I might just pick it up and trade. We'll see what week it comes out on. For a lot of these digital releases I read digitally now, it really just depends on the week, like Chris mentioned, how big the week is. Wolverine 34. Chris, you continuing with this?
Maybe.
I might have to get caught up. You've piqued my interest. Oh, there's a Liefeld cover with him and ninjas.
Ooh.
Look at those feet. Good covers, though. Nice.
Yeah.
X-Force 41. No. X-Men 23. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Got some Sentinel action going
Oh,
on.
yeah. I was reading some stuff about this.
Ooh, is that an Art Adams cover? Possibly. No. Oh, that's a nice one. No, it's a Mark Brooks one. Okay, interesting. Lucas work.
The cover AB's looking good.
Iron Man 7. Yeah, I think I'll be continuing to read this online. I've been reading it digitally. I think it's been decent. Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 13. Like I said, I caught up in the trade guys of this series, and this is now going into the Cold War stuff. Maybe I'll check this out online. Oh, this isn't
That Cold War is supposed to be a pretty good event from what they're
part 5 because
what they're pushing.
yeah, they're crossing over these two titles, the Symbol of Truth and Sentinel of Liberty, which they actually started together as well in a Zero issue and then went their separate ways.
Yeah.
I've yet to read the Sam Wilson series, but this Sentinel of Liberty, the Cap series here, the Steve Rogers, was fucking really good. I was really impressed by that. So yeah, I'm definitely may check this out online, this Cold War event, because I really liked what they did with that. And then you got Cold War Omega. It looks like it's ending in June. So there you go. I Am Iron Man, no. Silver Surfer, Ghostlight number 5, no. Doctor Strange 4. Yes, I'm continuing with this. This looks like a Wong issue. Nice. Avengers Beyond number 4 or 5. No. Fantastic Four 8. Is this the anniversary? No, that was the last one, I guess. Start of a special 2-part story. Yeah, I mean, as always, I've been on the fence with this title, but I might read it online.
Yeah.
Hellcat number 4, no. She-Hulk 14. You're still with this, right? Same artist, looks
Yeah.
like. Okay, there we go. Nice covers. Daredevil number 12. Coming to the end of this soon, too, apparently they've been teasing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
It's apparently Rob Liefeld cover month, guys, if you're into that. Look at these covers. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade number 5. No. Clobbering Time number 4. Yes. Oh, man. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it is. I hope I'm not wrong on this one. Moon Knight number 24. I read this in trade, but it's been very good. Is that Green Goblin? Hobgoblin?
Looks like a goblin there.
Yeah. Morpheus? Okay. Cosmic Ghost Rider number 4. No. Deadpool number 8. No. Ghost Rider 15. No. Thor 35. And this is not a good sign. Donny Cates' name is nowhere to be found on this. I don't know, man. They've got Torren Grunbeck still on the fucking title.
Is this still part of this Thanos series, or is this a new arc?
Daniel Warren Johnson cover. That looks nice. This is the finale, the Midgard shattering finale of Blood of the Fathers. Dr. Doom makes his final yeah. So I'll stick with it with this.
Yeah.
Going forward, I
might get that B cover there. That looks pretty sick.
Absolutely. That's the Daniel Warren Johnson one. I'm definitely getting that cover. It looks awesome. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to pick this up. Planet of the Apes, Predator, Alien. No, none of this stuff. Star Wars. We're good on this, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it, guys. That's going to do it for the June 2023 solicits for Marvel. Some good stuff, some good stuff. But I think once we get summer going into July, August is when you're going to really see some other interesting event specifics. I think the biggest release on this is the Hickman book, like you mentioned at the start, the Ultimate ones. That's going to be the thing everyone.
Yeah, it's 1 of 4.
1 of 4, yeah, oversized.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's talk about what we are reading next week. Chris, you got your list?
Yep. Not a big week next week. Maybe I'm missing stuff, but it's Daredevil 9. Thor 32, Action 1053, Dark Knights of Steel is a 10, I hope.
Yeah.
Harley 28, and I got Punchline 6 coming, and that's over.
All right. Yeah, I think with stuff I'm reading online next week digitally, it's a decent sized week for me actually. I got Dark Knights of Steel 10, Harley Quinn 28. I got Clobbering Time #1, the series I was just talking about there. You can definitely check that out. These are all things I'm picking up physically, physical release too. Daredevil #9. You got that one shot. It's Jeff with the shark.
Yeah, I don't think I put that in my solicitation, but I'll probably read it online. It looks like a fun issue.
Yeah. That's Kelly Thompson writing that as well. He's a shark character that has shown up in a bunch of things that she's written. So yeah, it's a fun concept. I'm definitely I'm picking that up, and that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Strange Academy Finals #5 and Thor 32. And that's Gotham City Year One #6. Those are all the physical release copies I'm picking up, and then a few things I might check out digitally online here. We got Unstoppable Doom Patrol #1 comes out next week, so I'm going to check that out. You also got Ambassadors #1, a new Mark Millar series coming out from
Yeah,
Image.
maybe I'll read that.
Yeah, that's
He's supposed to be gearing up for some like Millerverse or something.
Yeah. This is the one where each issue is by a different artist, and it's taking place in a different place around the world with
Yeah.
a different hero that they're highlighting from that part of the world. So it's an interesting concept, and I usually like his stuff. So I'm gonna read that. Iron Man #4, I'm gonna check out online. And I might, if I get to it, check out Local Man #2, which I talked about the first issue a few weeks back. It was okay. It's the one where it's like they're kind of trying to do a superhero that was from the extreme 90s Image era that's now down in the dumps, gone back to his hometown, lost his membership as part of like his team and all this kind of stuff. So I think there's room for some interesting stories to be told there, but the first issue kind of left me wanting a little bit. So we'll see if it makes the cut in terms of me checking it out. Depending, if how much time I have next week, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, some decent stuff though. But yeah, once again, great week of comics this week, guys. It was honestly one of the best weeks in a while. I think this is great art almost in every book, and all, like you saw, we were throwing these 4.25s, 4.5s all over the place here this episode. Some good stuff. And Chris, that all being said, what was your favorite book of the week in this strong week of comics?
I don't know. It's a tough one to pick, but I might go with surprising. I might go with The Punisher.
Wow, nice pick. I like it though.
I
Good,
did like that ending.
good. So it's between two books for me. I actually was thinking about this prior to recording today because it was such a tight week. I felt like, and it was so good.
I might have to throw Deceased out there too as an honorable mention, though. But
nice, I like that. Yeah. For me, it's between these two. We got Ra's al Ghul #1 and Doctor Strange, the book that Chris said meh and gave it 3.7. And gotta give it to Doctor Strange, everyone, because
I gotta give Doctor Strange over Ra's al Ghul.
He is one of my favorite characters. I gotta say though, this was really well done. I can't stress that enough. The art was great, and it was a really good one and done Ra's al Ghul story. But at the end of the day, not only was it a great debut issue for a new ongoing for Doctor Strange, where it kind of summed up everything that came before it. I think that Jed MacKay has been doing. Jed MacKay has been doing a great job writing a lot of things that we've been enjoying lately. And I love Doctor Strange, so of course I'm gonna give it to Doctor Strange #1. So there you have it, Doctor Strange #1 for me for my favorite of the week here this week. And yeah, good stuff, guys. Lots of
But
stuff.
I'm all for more of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange interaction, or Black Cat and Doctor Strange interaction. They're always good together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, did Moon Knight show up in this too? No, I think that was one of the only characters he's doing stuff with that didn't show up in this book, did it? No.
And like, wouldn't Doctor Strange, or doesn't Doctor Strange sort of know kind of what's going on with Mephisto and how he's messing up Peter Parker's life?
Well, that's the thing. It is referenced in this issue. You know how Jed MacKay was part of the Beyond era stuff as well. He was one of the revolving writers on that stuff.
Like I remember there was one story there where like, it was Doctor Strange and Mephisto talking, and he's like, why the hell do you have it out for Peter Parker so much? And, he kind of go, Peter, I saw in a vision that Peter Parker was going to, destroy my world. But it wasn't, and, he was lying when he said that. And it was in reality that that Mayday Parker was the one that was going to kind of destroy all his plans. And that's why, the one more day sort of issue happened. But
right. Yeah, I
But if
mean,
that's the case, that's crazy that Doctor Strange is holding out on Peter Parker.
he's had a long history with the character, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Spider-Man is definitely one of those people that when they came to break it down that way of people that were stopping by the Sanctum Sanctorum, I was like, of course Spidey stopped by, right? They have a long-standing relationship, those two. And so yeah, I mean, I would love to see other characters show up in this. Hopefully it's, this mystery of whether or not Clea jumped ahead and killed this guy isn't the main focus. But that being said, if it is, I'm down.
yeah, I'm still down with Clea. I think she's a great character, especially being a little bit of a badass.
I just like how he's dipped in and out of not only the setup event of the death of him, he did a Clea series, and now he's back with him in the status quo. So I think, like,
And is he now the Sorcerer Supreme, or is she still the Sorcerer Supreme of both worlds?
no, as far as I know, he's the Sorcerer Supreme now
I
again.
thought he's just come back just then just be a doctor and let her friggin' shoulder the responsibility of Sorcerer Supreme of Earth.
Well, I think there was a reference in this issue that made it seem like she's still taking part in all like the that magic world that they've let in on the
Yeah,
now. I think she does all the demon stuff and all, like, I think like she's more that side of things because she's like Dormammu's niece or whatever she is. I forgot
yeah,
what it's related to. But yeah, that's I think she does that side of stuff, and Doctor Strange I think does more of the earthly problem type stuff, like the things with the heroes and things like that, right? So at least that's what I got out of this. So yeah, I think Jed McKay, he's been doing a great job. So I'm looking forward to
I
him.
don't know. If I run across a copy, maybe I'll pick one up.
The great Alex Ross covers. Listen, you gave
Yeah.
it, Chris. I don't want to try to make you turn you around here now, but yeah, no, I think it was just a good debut issue. I think it summed up a lot of things really well, and looking forward to more. I'm a big Doctor Strange fan, though, so what can you do? All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week. Yeah, great week, comics, great conversation, all kinds of stuff we talked about here. As always, guys, we'll one of our longer episodes too. I'm gonna shut the hell up now and see us out, guys. Later, everyone. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Cheers.